Hi, Mike here. You're watching Scout Restoration Yukon. In this video, Front Axle 2, I will take a closer look at the axle housing, the crown and pinion, the bearings, the steering knuckles, and wheel hubs. As a bonus, I will be replacing the damaged steering knuckle stop screw block. This is not a how-to video. It's a how I do video. I hope you like it. Let's get to work. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. Mike Morrow, over and out. Hi, Mike here at Yukon Scout Restoration. In my previous video, I disassembled the front axle for the Scout 800. In this video, I will inspect all the parts and create a parts list. Let's get to work. These are the two inside axle seals, which go here. They look like the original seals. Anyway, I will need two of these. This is the inner pinion bearing. It is in excellent condition. There's no pitting or galling. As I turn it, you can see that this bearing is in excellent condition. There's no pitting or adverse wear. The splines on the pinion, as I turn it, everything looks very good. Also, the threads are in excellent condition. The pinion gear itself is also in excellent condition. And you can see the teeth have been running very well with the crown gear. It's just a little dirty, that's all. This is the left-hand carrier bearing. You can see inside this race is in excellent condition. And the bearing is in excellent condition. Just turn it over. I have to keep the bearing on the sides that they originally came with. So this would be the right-hand side carrier bearing. You can see there's no pitting or wear here either. You have some water marks on these bearings, but they're just what I call water marks because this vehicle sat for years, didn't move. That's normal. Now if we take a look at the crown gear, I don't see anything wrong with this crown gear. And what I do see is that it has been running very well with the pinion. Inside, you can see the spider gears. The spiders are tight against the thrusts. There's no need to remove the pin. And they seem to be in excellent condition too. I believe this differential has been re-bearinged at some point in time. Could have been a long time ago, and the truck maybe sat for 20 years. Who knows? But I'm sure it's been re-bearing because, as you remember, the caps, right, have been stamped, rebuilder's mark, so you can remember the orientation of the bearing cap. The date on the crown gear confirms that the crown and pinion of the 1966 Scout has been replaced. 47 teeth on the crown gear and 11 teeth on the pinion gives us a 4:27 gear ratio, the same as the rear axle and the same as the line setting ticket says. This is the outer pinion bearing and race, which is also in excellent condition. But you can see those watermarks I was speaking about. That's just because it sat for years and years. Here's the bearing. The bearing is in excellent condition too. Very good condition. This is the seal, which of course has to be replaced. So that's going on my list. This is the upper kingpin bearing. It's bronze, it's splined, so it can go in the kingpin like this. And let's just have a look at the other side. This is the upper left hand. And it's showing a little bit of wear. I'm still on the left hand side, but I've turned the axle over. So this is the lower kingpin bearing and race. The race is really bad. I'll be replacing the lower bearings and races on both sides. And the two upper races. Let's have a look at the other side. This is the right-hand side. Cup shows a little wear, but nothing like the other side. And this is the bearing, which doesn't actually look that bad. But I'll be replacing both of them. On both sides, I'll be replacing the seal and the felt, if I can get one. I might have to make one. So I'm now checking the fit of the kingpins in the steering knuckles. This is the left-hand side top steering knuckle kingpin, and it's a very good fit. I'm quite surprised. Nice and tight. Now I'll turn it over and check the bottom. That's a pretty good fit too. Quite happy with that. This is the right-hand steering knuckle, the top. Fits perfect. Turn it over, check the bottom. It's a very good fit too. This is the right hand hub. I'm going to remove the races so they'll be getting replaced. The condition of the wheel bearings indicates that they were not replaced when the differential was rebuilt. One out. These wheel bearings have not been serviced for a very long time. On the Dana 30 axle, the inner and outer wheel bearings are the same. On the Dana 27 axle, the inner and outer wheel bearings are different. This is one way of determining which axle you have. Another thing that I noticed is that the Dana 30 axle tube has a larger diameter. Two out. So there's no damage anywhere inside this hub. It just needs cleaned up. And these races are completely trashed. And they're both the same, inner and outer. So I'll do the other side, the same thing. These are the wheel bearings, definitely all getting replaced. This is the old steering knuckle stop screw. So what I did was I cut it off the axle with a zip cut. And then I cut this one off. Another axle. This is a good one. And I've just tacked it there for now. And I've put a dummy bolt in there because I don't want to wreck my bolt. So that's tacked in there now, as close as I can get it to where it goes. It should be fine because it's adjustable. So all I have to do now is weld that. Here's the one on the other side of the axle. I'm welding the stop screw to the axle. You're watching Yukon Scout Restoration. Mike here. Now that I've replaced the damaged steering knuckle stop screw and my parts are coming for this axle, I've got to get it ready to reassemble. So I'm going to knock out these races on the yoke. And then I'm going to take a wire brush on an angle grinder and polish up these balls really nice and clean the gasket surface and have this sort of ready to go when the parts come. So let's get to work. I'm knocking out the races for the steering knuckle bearing. I'm polishing the balls for the steering knuckle seal rides. Cleaning the housing down to bare metal in preparation for paint. I am cleaning the housing out with compressed air and Varsol. It's important to get all the crud out of the axle tube. Right. Seals. We all know how important seals are. They keep the oil in and they keep the water out. I don't know how many times I've taken something apart because it's leaking, only to find that someone has replaced the seals but failed to clean up the machine surface where the seal rides. This can be easily done with some emery cloth. Unless it's badly grooved, then you need a speedy sleeve or a new part. Let's get to work. This is the front spindle for the Dana 30. This is the surface where the seal rides. The inner bearing rides here, the outer bearing rides here. You can see it's quite rusty, but it's not badly pitted and it's not grooved. If it was grooved, it would need a speedy sleeve. All you have to do is take a piece of emery cloth, wrap it tightly around the seal surface, try to get it as straight as possible on there, hold it in one hand, and turn it. By doing it this way, you ensure that it's even. If you put it in a vise and took a piece of emery cloth and started going back and forth like a saw and then turning it again, you could get it done that way, maybe a little quicker too, but it wouldn't be even. This is the best way to do it. Just go around and round for sometimes quite a long time. I do this with every component that has a seal. I also do this with my axles where they go in the seal. So the surface on the axle where the seal rides, I clean it up with emery cloth. Anywhere a seal goes, clean it up with emery cloth. So after a little bit, now you can see already, that's a lot better. There is no groove. This is a watermark. It's probably slightly pitted and it has a watermark. It's not pitted, it's just a watermark. I will continue with the emery cloth for a considerable time. If you don't feel like doing that, you can go buy a new part. But when we're restoring classic cars, new parts aren't often available. You could also take it to a machine shop and have them clean it up on a lathe. I would hesitate to do this because there's a good chance they'll take too much material off. So I just spend some time with the emery cloth. In conclusion, once again, I see that this Scout has had money and work put into it in the past. The axle rebuild will not require any hard parts. The housing, gears, and bearings are in excellent condition. At a glance, the axles and spindle bushings looked good also. So far, I only need soft parts, like inside axle seals, pinion seal, kingpin bearings, steering knuckle seal kit, and wheel bearings and seals. However, the Scout is 59 years old. so parts can be hard to get and expensive. My next video will be front axle assembly 1. I hope you like it. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out.